Good evening, everyone. This meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting was included in a list of meeting dates sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, and the Highland Park Planet on January 3rd, 2018, and was posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on South Fifth Avenue on January 3rd, 2018, and has remained continuously posted as required by law. Fire exits are to either side at the exit signs. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the council, and assistive listening devices are available. Request from the clerk's office if needed. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
No, you do pledge first.
All right. Mr. Gross, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call.
Mayor Burl Mittler, Councilman Fine,
Here.
Councilwoman Foster Dublin, Councilman George,
Here.
Councilman Hirsch,
Here.
Councilwoman Kim Chohan,
Here.
Councilwoman Welkowitz,
Here.
Borough Attorney,
Here.
Borough Administrator.
Here.
All right, call for council reports. We'll start with Stephanie Kim Chohan, please.
Sure, just a few announcements and few happenings around town. The Arts Commission is working on workshops for the next 4 months of 2018. We're going to offer the book arts workshop again. Last time it was filled to capacity. We had to turn, unfortunately, some residents away, so we're going to offer it again. A acting workshop, glass art workshop, comic book for our little ones, and some Japanese finger painting for the preschoolers, to try to just include all residents involved in art. And possibly a collaboration with the food pantry, Councilman Hirsch. Also, prior to the council meeting, I attended the Windows of Understanding exhibit reception today in New Brunswick. I spoke about this prior council meetings. There are 6 venues in town and more than a dozen in New Brunswick with their art lined throughout the windows with the theme that we see through hate. So it's kind of similar to our window art crawl that we do in the summer. But this is a collaboration with the Mason Grove School of the Arts and the City of New Brunswick. And we have 10 artists involved in and around Highland Park, 5 nonprofits, and 6 stores. And if you want to check it out from home, you also can. It's a digital art tour online at artwalkhp.com. And today, our seniors and members of the community enjoyed an afternoon of music. And on January 23rd, is the first senior luncheon of the year with a special Chinese culture presentation that will be held prior to the luncheon. And please stop by the Senior Youth Center or visit us online for upcoming activities and events. Yesterday, in celebration of Martin Luther King Day, prior to the Human Relations awesome event last night, I attended the Governor's Day of Action at the New Jersey Veterans Home in Edison, where I was able to share some laughs and conversations with our vets, and it was a very rewarding experience. And that is it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Welkowitz?
Thank you, Council President.
I'd like to thank our community for providing many opportunities for my family and I to serve and participate yesterday on Martin Luther King Day. I know Councilman Hirsch is going to do a presentation in a bit, but I don't get to talk after you, so if you can allow me just to say a couple thanks. In these times, I can think of no more appropriate recipient of our Martin Luther King Humanitarian Award than Harry Panjamanin. Last night, we had our Martin Luther King event. The Human Relations team under Ashton Burrell put together the most moving program last night. Thank you to the committee, Councilman Hirsch, the incredible dancer Jordan Jackson, poet and educator Aaliyah Pierce, Lucinda Holt of the Highland Park Parents of Students of Color, Pastor Seth Caperdale in his introduction of Mr. Panjamanin, and to the ever-gracious Mr. Harry Panjamanin for all his tremendous community work, and to his family for their support. I'd also like to thank the team at Bartle School, Principal Benjamin, Ms. Crane, Ms. Kirk, Ms. McLean, and the other teachers and staff on hand, as 100 people yesterday volunteered for a day of service to help clean up, organize, prep, and paint our beloved Bartle School. Last fall, Highland Park Safe Walking and Cycling Committee submitted an application for the New Jersey Department of Transportation's Local Bicycle Pedestrian Planning Assistance Program. Under this program, New Jersey Department of Transportation has retained the services of several consultants with expertise in local bicycle and pedestrian planning. The services of these consultants are provided to municipalities at no cost, provided they demonstrate a need and desire to undertake planning activities that will lead to capital improvements to benefit the non-motorized transportation modes. I am delighted to announce that on Friday, Highland Park's application was accepted into the program. WSP, one of the nation's leading engineering and professional services firms, has been named as our consultant to create a comprehensive bicycle and pedestrian plan for the borough. The goal of the plan is to promote walking and bicycling as a preferred mode of transportation for residents and visitors by enhancing our community. The plan will build upon the already extensive work being done by our boards and committees to make Highland Park an even better place to work and live. The plan will be consistent with the city's Complete Streets policy and may become the bicycle and pedestrian foundation of our master plan. When completed, the plan will provide a comprehensive approach to identify priority improvements for creating, enhancing, and expanding walking and bicycling opportunities for people of all ages. Thanks to Trish Sanchez and Sean Meehan from our Safe Walking and Cycling Committee for taking the lead on this important opportunity. And thanks to Borough Administrator Terry Hover for helping to finalize and submit the application, and for the future coordination of this project as we navigate through the many steps still to come. I'm also delighted to announce that a bill which our Safe Walking and Cycling Committee and I have been actively advocating for was signed into law by the governor yesterday morning. The law requires driver ed courses and the driver's license written exam to now include pedestrian and bicycling safety information. No driver, cyclist, or pedestrian wants to be in a collision, yet New Jersey is presently reaching an all-time high in cycling fatalities. That was reported in NorthJersey.com on September 3rd, this past year, 2017. This is very recent information. Bicycle death rates greatly exceed total road fatalities nationally and statewide in New Jersey. Historically, bicycle fatalities steadily fell nearly 40% from 1975 to 2010, but then rose nearly 32% by 2015. Up until yesterday, New Jersey had some of the weakest protections for pedestrians and bicyclists. Teaching new drivers these rules of the road and road sharing will help everyone improve the safety of our roadways. As chair of our Economic Development Committee, my interest also concerns the smart growth and development within our community. We encourage walking and cycling as valid alternatives to commuting for work and running local errands. We are also the lead municipal partner to Rutgers Night Cycle Bike Share, scheduled to begin in this year, in 2018. More cyclists and pedestrians mean less cars, and therefore less road traffic, making roadways safer. I would like to personally thank our State Senator Patrick Dugnan for co-sponsoring the Senate bill, getting it out of committee unanimously, getting it to the Senate floor, and bringing the bill the attention it deserved. Thank you, Senator, for the long-term effects of safer streets and roadways for all, and for saving lives. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Welkowitz. A report on safe cycling. As you know, New Jersey Futures just released their report on millennial development downtown, and one of the first things they mentioned, the middle thing they mentioned, and the last thing they mentioned is safe walking encourages downtown development. That's what people want. Thank you. Councilman Hirsch?
Thank you, Council President George. That was a great report, Councilwoman Welkowitz. It's very exciting. Just to echo a little bit of what Councilwoman Welkowitz said last night, if anybody attended the Martin Luther King Humanitarian Awards program last night, you would have seen truly a comprehensive picture of what Highland Park is doing, what it's thinking about, and how it's creating an environment that creates a truly inclusive community, all the way down from our housing patterns to our community volunteerism, and to the work of people like Harry Pangamanan, who was honored last night. And I think just leaves everybody in awe because of what you contribute to Highland Park. The full program is available on the Highland Park Human Relations Commission's Facebook page, so you can watch the entire program there. Excellent program. Give yourself an hour and 45 minutes, and really get an understanding of what this program is about. Thank you to Chairman Ashton Burrell of the Highland Park Human Relations Commission and the whole team over there for sponsoring a truly wonderful event. The event recognizes an individual who has shown exemplary leadership and service to the community. Harry, an immigrant from Indonesia who escaped from the violence aimed at Chinese Christians in the 1990s, was honored last night for his extensive work on behalf of Indonesian immigrants and others in need of assistance. Without going into everything that was said last night, because Harry and his family are doing their service to the community by attending two meetings in a row at night with their kids. So thank you. But just to repeat a little bit what was said last night, we need to seize every opportunity to protect our residents in Highland Park, and we need to do that through service to our community. We need to do that through our advocacy and activism, and we need to do that through a commitment to the belief that there is no door that shuts out our neighbors. And we need to do that by making sure that we operate always through a lens of equity. I was able to speak with Harry a little bit on Saturday at Temple Anche Emeth in New Brunswick, a congregation that is also thinking about becoming a sanctuary congregation. And when it comes to the work, Harry basically summed it up in the spirit of the MLK Awards. He said, we have no choice. It's not about one life, but it's about the entire community. And that just hits the nail on the head. And in that spirit, we celebrated last night, but tonight we wanted to just present you with a permanent plaque, and I hope maybe Council President George or all I don't know. What do we all want to get out?
You can, okay.
Yeah. Do you all want to go?
Sure, why not?
We're gonna
Come on.
touch it.
When everybody come up.
I can barely hear that. I can barely hear it. Back on the old system of going. You can only have those old, you had to use the machine. Yes.
Just
Eventually.
two other small things. I don't want to take up everyone's time, so I'm just trying to prioritize here. I just wanted to give a kudos to Food Pantry Commissioner Bruce Bush for his extensive time and dedication to getting our 2018 sign-in sheets and other client records set for the new year. It's a huge undertaking. The Food Pantry has an enormous operation and serves a critical need, and I've really haven't worked with another volunteer organization that is as well tuned and efficient as they are. It runs itself, and they don't need my help, and it's pretty awesome. There have been, and just to report to any clients who are watching, the Middlesex County Food Organization and Outreach Distribution Services, cutely named McFoods, and the Community Food Bank of New Jersey will resume food distribution starting tomorrow. So we will be able to start again to get more of a variety of fresh food for our clients. Quickly, the Highland Park Housing Authority reorganized at its January 10th meeting, selecting Commissioners Steve Chudnik and Reza Martinez to serve as chair and vice chair, respectively. Again, they served in 2017 in those positions as well. Both are immensely qualified as we undertake financing for capital improvements, and as well as conducting general stewardship of Highland Park's public housing stock. Congratulations to both of them, and thank you to all the members of the Highland Park Housing Authority for taking on this awesome responsibility. It's early, but please mark if you love books, please mark your calendar for Thursday, March 29th, at 7 p.m. at the Highland Park Senior Youth Center. The Highland Park Human Relations Commission Book Club will host another reading where we'll discuss a very important book called White Rage by historian Carol Anderson. The text examines the obstacles that stand in the way of Black progress in America. Phenomenal book. So please come out. We'll have an important discussion, and you'll get to. It's a great opportunity to get to meet people who you don't know, and to discuss these important common themes that are facing our community. So thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Councilman Hirsch. Councilman Fine.
I do not have a report tonight. Thank you.
Borough Administrator, do you have a report?
None tonight, thank you.
Borough Council, do you have a report tonight?
I do not.
Thank you. Just briefly report, with regard to DPW, we're ready for the snow tonight if it hits. It could be like last time when they said it was nothing and it's snarless for days. But the road crews were out this morning, brining all the streets so you can see the white stripes, so we're ready for it. Also, with the weather moderating a little bit since we had our near zero temperatures, PSE&G has returned to some of the gas line replacements. I know when I was heading over, they were just about to take the barricades down at the corner of Benner and South 2nd, so they've been working on that intersection. Sustainable Highland Park continues working on the bag reduction program. To date, over 1,000 recyclable and reusable bags have been given out, which were paid for by Stop and Shop and part of the original grant funding. Sustainable Highland Park is set April 22nd, that's a Sunday, for the Earth Day program for 2018 at the Eugene Young Environmental Center. The sign-up information for the groups or individuals wishing to participate will be available shortly on the Borough and SHP websites. SHP is also working on some long-term goal planning to set some priorities after some of the present projects are done. And their next meeting is next Wednesday, January 24th at 8 a.m. The Environmental Commission has sponsoring, which is on the agenda for tonight, a resolution opposing NJDEP's regulations, which basically eliminate residential and hobby beekeeping and may actually eliminate our beehives down at the Environmental Center. The resolution was drafted by the Environmental Commission. The comments are due by this Friday, January 19th. The Meadows Trail work and the Native Plant Preserve, they've stopped for the winter, obviously. They start back up in March. As always, volunteers are needed and appreciated. The material for the work is grant funded. You wouldn't necessarily think that outdoor work in the woods and along the waterfront actually is a part of Highland Park, but having participated in their work days and their cleanup days, it actually gives a very interesting new perspective on what Highland Park is about. Walking along the waterside, working on cleanup projects, and I recommend that everybody at least take a shot at volunteering. And that's my report. Madam Clerk? We don't have a mayor's report. Is there public discussion? Seeing none, I'll close the public discussion portion. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for consent agenda items 9 through 32?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any hearing or discussion on the consent agenda? Thank you, Harry. Have a nice
Thanks,
evening.
Harry. Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Discussion or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Fine,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch,
Yes to all, abstain on 22, 23, and 32. I'm a trustee for the Highland Park Ed Foundation.
Councilwoman Kim Cho-Han,
Yes.
Councilwoman Welkowitz.
Yes.
All right, the consent agenda passes. We'll move on to resolution to approve budget transfers. This is off consent as required. Do we have a motion and a second to approve budget transfers for interim 2018?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilman Fine,
Yes.
Councilman George,
Yes.
Councilman Hirsch,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim Cho-Han.
Yes.
Councilwoman Welkowitz.
Yes.
Any open items for discussion at the public meeting from council? Seeing none, I understand that we have executive session required with regard to litigation involving the borough.
Second public discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Second public discussion. Anyone have second comments for public discussion?
Regard 307 Magnolia Street. We may have some more snow tomorrow. I hope not. But the crosswalks are piled, the way the plows go through, because their cars parked, they can't get close enough to the curb, and they come around. We're trapped. We can't get across unless we take a shovel and dig ourselves out. Property owners, many of them don't shovel. I haven't seen a single teenager come by to volunteer or for pay to come and shovel snow. Are you going to respond to that?
Yes, we will. There are programs. We'll describe it.
Yeah, I guess everybody should remember the ordinance says, you have within, I believe it's 10 hours after the snowfall to shovel, so that's important to remember. And we do, and I know we distributed it prior to the last storm, and we could dig it out and probably worth resending. We have a list of students, I believe mostly volunteers and for pay, who have signed up for a list that are willing to shovel, and their phone numbers and everything are available.
It's on my counter.
Is it, where is it?
It's on my counter.
It's on the counter too, so we could even grab one for
It is
you.
also available at the police
One of
department.
my
We keep it at the front
tenants
desk.
was looking for
Anybody
me.
can call for it.
And went to, I told her, go to the police department, that's where I was told. And she came back and said, they don't have anybody.
Clerk has a copy of the list on her
So does
desk,
the police
and the police department, so we definitely have pulled that together, so make sure we get it to you.
Yeah, but there has to be a better way. You can't entrap people because their cars parked and then you plow all around it. The cars are plowed in, the sidewalks are... Finally, my crosswalk at 4th and Magnolia, since yesterday, finally the last of the snow melted away. This is ridiculous. We need to go out, we need to go to the store. The school had reopened and the kids couldn't get across. I mean, the kids got across, but the grown-up had trouble getting across. And there was one other thing I forgot. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Lieutenant, just to qualify, you mentioned that that list is available at the police department. If they called the non-emergency number, could they get that list by phone if someone requested?
We have it on email. The dispatcher can either read you names and give you some names and numbers, or if you have access to email, we can email you the actual list that was provided from Andrea Bay from the community center.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else from the public?
Herb Gross, Highland Gardens. I cannot give you the exact date because it hasn't been announced at our Budget to Foreign Wars meeting. But at the next meeting, I will be able to give you the exact date. At the Roosevelt Center, coming up, we're going to have a bingo, which is open to everyone in this room, and it's open to all the members of the council. And I must, at this time, commend the acting mayor, who has been to the Roosevelt Center. We have at the center, and I've repeated this once before, we have members, lifelong residents of Highland Park that have served our country, that are residents now due to their physical powers. They're at the Roosevelt Center, and I would like to see all the members of the council come to this bingo and sit side by side with these lifelong residents of Highland Park that served the country and served everyone here. At the next meeting, I'll be able to give you the exact date of this bingo, and it's open to everyone. Please try to come. Again, I would like to thank the acting mayor tonight for his participation of going to the Roosevelt Center. In the past mayors of Highland Park, Mayor Herbert Tansman, the late Harold Berman, who I served with in the United States Marine Corps. They were both very ardent supporters of Roosevelt Center. They did a remarkable job, and I want to let everyone know about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman George, can I just add that Councilwoman Kim was there yesterday, and so were many members of our county Democratic Committee as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. George Highland, Highland Park resident. As I understood the proceedings here this evening, the consent agenda was basically passed at all at once. So I want to thank the council for passing item number 26, resolution 11847 regarding the proposed regulations for the keeping of bees, and it's very important, and I'm glad that you all recognize that. I'll be happy to report to the Raritan Valley Beekeepers Association meeting Thursday evening that this has been done in Highland Park. Thanks very much.
Environmental Commission, as I said, had requested that we bring it up early because the comment period closes this Friday. But when we went through the regulations, they essentially ban anything other than large commercial bee farming, especially with the 10-foot air barrier, which is not allowed under any zoning or commercial code. But thank you very much for your support. Any other members of the public? Seeing none, I'll close public discussion. I believe, as I said before, we do have an executive session with regard to litigation in which the borough is involved in. So we will have a motion to retire to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. This portion of the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your attendance.